host with the most, Tami. If you don't know me, I'm an expat that lives in Cambodia, in Phnom Penh, the capital city to be exact. And if you are in the know, then you don't need to hear this again. But if you don't, I always like to throw that in there, especially if you're watching this on replay. But anyway, as the title suggested, coffee, tea, or me, um, we are currently at one of many locations. It's called Brown Coffee and Bakery. And Lily's in the house. Hi, Lily. You're numero uno, girl. You're always number one. Um, yeah, we're at a Brown coffee shop location. I just recently had a really good matcha, ice cream matcha, and a nice roast beef sandwich. I'd show you, but I ate it all and drank it all, and they took the plate away. So you're just gonna have to trust me on that. But that cost maybe $8.50, a little bit over my budget, but it was really good. I was really starving. Yay! Who's online? Yay! Nate. 20 days till you move to Cambodia? No way. Wait, am I reading this right? I'm sorry, I gotta get close here. Nate 1502. I wait for these each week. Only 20 days till I move to Cambodia. Well, congratulations, Nate. Dude, where are you moving? Are you moving here to Phnom Penh or are you going somewhere else? I know it's either one of the two. It's going to be either here or Siem Reap usually. So let me know which one you're going to. I'd be curious to know. That's super cool, man. Yeah, I know another girl from Texas who's sliding in. I'm helping her get an apartment. She'll be here, I think in a week or 2 weeks. She's coming in. She's going to get her Airbnb for a month, and then she needs my help to get her apartment after the Airbnb, which is cool. I'm going to help her out. Um, yeah, so congrats again. If you need any help, Nate, let me know. Oh, Siem Reap. Okay. Um, okay. Siem Reap first to see how you like it. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it's more slow paced than the city life out here in Phnom Penh. A lot of expats swear by it. They love it, because it's got some nightlife, but then it's also a laid back kind of thing. And if you're into nature and, you know, archaeology, they've got the big temples out there, Angkor Wat and all that jazz. So if you're into all that, I think you'll really enjoy it. Um, if you need more like me, then you want the noise of the city and you want more choices, then you're going to want Phnom Penh. But yeah, congrats on that. I think it's going to be a good choice for you. But yeah, now that we got some people rolling in, let me just give whoever's online a quick look at where we're at now. I'm like on the corner of a couple of streets here, not too far from BKK, but it is south of the main Phnom Penh city. But we're at Brown Coffee Shop. So here you go. I'm right next to a big giant cup. You see it? Brown Coffee and Bakery. So now you know. If you don't know, now you know. Yeah, check it out. But here's one of the roads. We're literally off the road. I'm next to a flower shop. Really cool design. It's a nice little hidden kind of coffee shop in the middle of the city. We just had rain earlier today, guys. And I'm glad it quit, but it's really cloudy today. But it's cool. The place is really nice and cool. And this is the actual coffee shop itself. I tried to get in earlier, but I'm going to tell you guys, it was rough, man. They had the lunch crowd, and I could not get in to save my life. Yeah, they get pretty crowded here, like 11-ish. I got here about 11 o'clock. I'm early, guys. Like, normally I don't live stream till 2, 3 o'clock Cambodian time. If you're regulars, you know what I'm talking about. So for me to be live streaming now is unusual because I literally woke up at 6:30 this morning. I was planning on going to a further location, but then it started raining. And I was like, well, shit, I'm already up. I might as well just head out to the mall. I had to go to the mall, pick up a few things. Did really good, hit up some sales. Shoot, check this out. Look, I needed another like USB cord for my cell phone. I got this for 55 cents. Look at this. 55 cents. Do I know how to get sales or what? It fits perfect. I checked it out in the store to make sure that it would work on my phone and actually connect to my charger. But see, I have this one, but the one at the house actually broke. And I was like, and they had others for like $2.50, and it went up from there. And I saw this on the shelf for 55 cents. I was like, why is this one so cheap? Maybe we'll find out. Hopefully, it won't break on me so fast. But yeah, 55 cents, guys. You can't beat that. Probably gonna get leaves in my hair. I got leaves falling out of the trees, but it's pretty cool. And then I actually landed a pair of pants at H&M for it was on sale 50% off, so I got it for $12. So I was lucky today. I feel a lucky pump. I felt pretty lucky today. So yeah. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about you. I want everybody in the live stream to drop a comment. Let me know the city, the state that you're hailing in from, especially if you're from the United States. Let me know the city and the state. Thanks, Ryan. And then if you're not, if you're from another country, let me know the country you're in. Okay? So let's start there. We can break the ice. And then, of course, this live stream. It's almost midnight in Idaho. Ooh, okay, is it Maddie? Hi, Maddie. Maddie Silva. You enjoy the live? Thank you, Lily. Thank you. Greetings from Northern Thailand. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Hi, Northern Thailand. That's Chiang Mai area, right? Hey, somebody's tuning in from LA. You know what? When I fly back to the United States in September to see my kids, I'm flying through LAX, and I've never flown through LAX. I don't know what I'm stepping into. I got a connecting flight from Hong Kong to LAX when I fly back. I'm scared. It sounds crazy, but I've been through like JFK in New York, and that was some kind of bomb place. And now I can only imagine what LAX is going to be like. So let me know, especially especially you, Nate, coming in from LA. In fact, let me know, is there an actual reasonably priced hotel on site at the airport? Because I have like a 12-hour layover in LA before I fly to Orlando. And I really don't want to leave the airport to look for a hotel. I mean, if I have to, I will. But I was looking online recently about like maybe some capsules. You know, those sleeping pods or capsules. They have them in certain types of huge international airports, but I didn't see one in LAX. I was a little surprised about that. I was like, how come they don't have no sleeping pods at LAX? Unless I missed it. I don't know. Yeah, I know, right? Oh my God. That's what I said. I was like, and I get in at 10:30 at night. So I'm not flying out till like 11 o'clock the next morning. I have to spend the night in LA. So yeah, I need to, I'd rather not leave the airport. I'd rather stay at the airport, get a hotel room or a sleeping pod and just like crash at the airport and then catch the flight and head out. Because I don't want to have to go out and back in. I'm not big on that. But I got a feeling, obviously, if you get a hotel at LAX, it's probably going to cost an arm and a leg. So I need to grow another arm and a leg. So I could just chop it off and give it to him and say, hey, here's my arm, here's my leg. Can I have a bed for the night? Yeah. Hey, Renee's in the house. Hey, Renee. What up, what up, what up? It was nice speaking to you the other day to get you all squared away. Well, hopefully, with your apartment soon. And yeah, I look forward to meeting you directly, and we're going to get you all hooked up. So don't worry. Okay? Okay. That's what we do. That's what we do. Now I see somebody else. Is somebody saying hi? I can't even read this. Oh yeah. Josette. Hello, Josette. I'm going to give you all a view of where we're at. We're at Brown Coffee, one of the many locations here in Phnom Penh. But yeah, I'm sort of tucked away with all these trees. I love how they hide the coffee shops out here. But this is the coffee shop behind me. As you can see, it's a two-story coffee shop, but it was so crowded in there, I couldn't get a seat. I already had my lunch. Here's the big cup. Isn't that cute? You're excited? Yeah, I hope so. Oh, Jose. Hey, Jose. Jose said hi. Jose in the house, man. Yeah, isn't this nice? Yeah, we just had rain. Just today, it rained for about a couple hours this morning, and it just left it really cloudy. But it's cool out. It's very cool and comfortable. There's a nice little flower shop next to me. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Or no, wait, that's not a flower. Is that? I don't know if that's a flower shop or if that is part of the hotel. I am not sure. But over there, if you hear kids screaming right in here, that's an international school. You can hear the kids playing out there. But yeah, as everybody comes in, if you don't know me, I'm an expat from Orlando, Florida. My name is Tami, so welcome in. I'm always welcoming in newbies. And also, this live stream is really about Cambodia. It's about moving here, it's about living here. I've been here a little over a year. Let's see, what is this, March? I've been here 14 months now. So if you have any questions, that's what this live stream's about. If you got questions about visa, safety, anything that pops in your head, go ahead and ask in the live stream. That's what this is about. I do these live streams Mondays and Fridays, and I just welcome people in who are curious what it's like to live in the capital of Cambodia. Like, what's popping out here, right? I mean, you can hear it, it's popping. You be popping, baby. Yeah, so go ahead. Don't be shy. Ask your questions. Now, I don't know everything, okay? I'm not the all seeing eyeball. I know some things, and then there's some things I don't know. But I try to answer the questions the best I can. You know, but all I ask is that you just be respectful to me, be respectful to everybody else within the live stream, and we're just going to have a good time while we're here. So, yeah, just kick back, get your favorite beverage, get something to snack on if you haven't had anything to eat yet. And let's just do this thing. Okay? Ask your questions away. Let me see if I'm missing any comments. Hold on. While you look at this airplane. Renee, I see an interview coming up in the next couple of months. Okay. So you're wanting to do an interview? You sure? Okay. I think that would be cool, especially you coming in from what is it? You're not in the you weren't not in the Dallas, Texas area. You were in Texas, but I don't remember exactly. I think you said you were north of Dallas or something like that. That would be a cool interview. In fact, you would be the second person I've interviewed from Texas. If you remember way back, I interviewed a couple. There was a guy from Texas who is married now to a Cambodian woman, and I interviewed them both together. Excuse me, I'm burping up my sandwich. I just said, hey, let me tell you, they serve a mean matcha out here. They had something called a cream matcha, an iced cream matcha. And I was like, okay, it's probably going to be sort of bitter tasting. I don't know what they put in it. It wasn't too sweet. It wasn't bitter, but it had an earthy flavor, and it had some kind of like, I don't know, like a caramel flavor or something. Dude, just saying, it was to die for. I was like, what? Because I've been trying different like matcha teas all over. I have my coffee here and there, and then I have my matcha teas. And I was like, I've never had one at Brown's, and this is like one of their new signature drinks. I was like, okay, I'll try it. It was really good. I highly recommend it. Yeah, and it's called matcha crema, CREMA is how they spell it. But it was really freaking good. Like, really freaking good. But yeah, Renee, if you want to do an interview, I'm down. Just let's get you situated first with your apartment, whatever else, to make you feel comfortable, get you in the groove of stuff, and then we'll talk interview down the road. That would be sort of cool. That'd be really cool. But thank you for offering. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. There's a nice little noodle place across there. Oh, it's actually a shop. The best menu. It looks like a grocery store, even though you guys can't see it. They serve noodles. Yay. Oh, okay. You were 2 hours west of DFW. Okay. Dallas Fort Worth. All right. All right. I got you. Awesome. Okay. So sent my own way. Going back to you. You said I'm sitting in a rubber plantation right now. Really? I guess they do rubber up there. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Well, let me see what we got going on here. Maybe I could do a little show and tell. Always fun to do show and tell. Oh, I forgot. I forgot to tell you guys. He may jump on the live stream. I don't know. When I went to the mall earlier and I was in the checkout line at the grocery store, I was picking up this oil, right? I had to get some rice bran oil. So I'm just standing waiting in line for the person in front of me. And then there was this Westerner standing behind me, white dude, he's Western. And he had his basket of groceries, right? So I'm just like minding my own business and I'm just like looking around at the stuff on the shelf and just looking around. And I noticed he kept staring at me. And I was like, well, I don't know. I'm so good. No, I'm just kidding. So he kept staring at me. And then he finally says to me, he goes, do I know you? I was like, that's the greatest pickup line ever, right? No, he wasn't trying to pick me up. But no, he said, do I know you? And I sort of just looked at him. I was like, I don't know. Do you know me? It's like, am I in trouble? Um, he goes, YouTube? I was like, yeah, I do YouTube. He goes, oh my God. He goes, I watch your channel all the time. It's like his handle is like Michael MC Hammer or something like that. He goes, it's Mike MC. I was like, oh my God. So I shook his hand in the grocery store aisle. He goes, man, it's such a small world. I said, oh my God. I said, it really is. I cannot believe it. You recognize me from the live streams. He says, I watch your live streams all the time. So it was cool. I met one of my subscribers at the grocery store line. You never know what's going to happen. So shout out to Michael MC. I can remember that because I could think of like MC Hammer. So if he pops in, I'll know it's him. Dave Alexander. Hey, thank you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. So yeah. I'm not used to that, because I'm not a big time YouTuber. I'm just some random chick on YouTube, who happens to be living in Cambodia, shooting the shit. So it does blow my mind. Blows my mind. So anyway, like I said, I got some oil, and then I managed to go to H&M and find a pair of pants. Yeah, girl. That's the only place I could find pants. But they were on sale 50% off, so I got them for $12. Let's go. You can find good deals at that H&M. You really can. Yes, you can. I'll make sure I don't miss anybody's comments while I'm yakking away here. Lily's like, yay. Girl, I'm telling you. Pair of pants for $12, a USB cord for 55 cents, and a bottle of oil. I'll show you how big it is if I can pull it out of my bag. It's wrapped up. This big thing of oil, $4.90. I'll just say $5. Yeah, I did good. I did good at the mall. I was looking for shoes too, but man, it's hard to find a size 10 woman's shoe. I'm a Bigfoot, okay? I know, I've had people say, oh, you're a Bigfoot. I am a Bigfoot. I literally am. My dad had big feet, I got big feet. I inherited big feet from my daddy. So anyway, I was looking around for some nice, like, just slip-on kind of shoes, just something like comfy that I could wear around town besides the ones I got. Because these I got right now, I've been wearing them for over a year. These are the original shoes I bought when I got here. I mean, they're still good, but they're really like sort of broken in, if you know what I mean. And it's like I could really use another pair of shoes, but I'm having a hard time finding them. So I'm gonna keep my finger crossed and hope that I find something in my size. That's the only problem about living out here is like when you're not Asian size, when you're American size, things can get a little dicey trying to find shoes. Um, and like I looked at other places in the mall for different pants. Oh my god! Well, I did find a nice pair of like sort of like what do you call not workout pants, but sort of like gym material. It's hard to explain. It was really light material, but it wasn't yoga pants, but it was something in between at a sports store that might have fit, but they were starting at $32 and going up to like $45. I didn't really want to spend all that on a pair of pants. And then I went into this other specialty shop in the mall, and they wanted $85 for a pair of pants. I was like, hell no, I'm not back in the States. I am not paying no 85 freaking dollars. And that's when I went back to H&M, and they had the sales racks all out, 50% off, 70% off. I was like, girl, this is my section. So yeah, that's where I landed the pants for 50% off for $12. Can't beat it. Okay, let me get to your comments. Yes. You can look at the coffee cup. Herb says Crocs or Skechers are good, or maybe some Rockports. Yeah, I looked at Crocs. Crocs, or one. I'm sorry, I called you Crocs. I was thinking Crocs. Or they have a Crocs store at the mall here, and they were $109 a pair, and I was like, that's way out of budget. Like I'm looking for a pair of shoes about $25 or less. And you can get tennis shoes all day long out here, but I'm just looking for a pair of slides for about that price. Now, I did find some comfortable slides that were on sale for $15. Well, they weren't to my comfort level. You know what I mean? Like, and she only had one color, which was like sort of a weird pink color. I was like, that's not going to match everything I own. Like, I wanted something either navy blue, black, brown, those kind of colors that sort of go with everything. But all she had was this weird pink, and then she had another one that was my size that was sort of a weird, how can I call it, shrimp color, like an orangey color. I was like, nah, damn it. I really wanted those shoes for $15, but I was like, I am not buying shrimp colored shoes or some weird pink color. I was like, this is not going to work. I'll just have to hold out. Let me get to your questions. Are there sumo wrestlers there, E-Man? Not in Cambodia. That's Japan. You're thinking about Japan, not in Cambodia. Yeah, Nate said it. Japan. Um, but yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day I will find something. Okay, Dave Alexander Ferris is in the UK. Herb says, "There's my little tuk tuk." I guess I am your little tuk tuk. That's so funny. I love it. That's so funny. So tell me, people, they rip off touristy, man says. Well, really, you can find some good deals out here. Whether you are a tourist or you are a local, you get the same price. So the only way you're really going to get ripped off, and you may think you're getting a better deal because you're actually going to the market. Like if you go to like the Russian market out here, there might be a sign that says, okay, the shoes are X amount, right? But they know you got more money, so then they're going to raise the price, and then you got to haggle back down, and or they may not have a sign at all. Like at these markets, there'll be no signs. You don't even know what the price is because they see you coming. They're going to give you a different price versus the local. You see, but when you go into a mall or some of these other stores out here, they put a price tag on it. There is a sign, and they're not going to change it just because you are a Westerner. That hasn't happened to me at all. That's why I prefer to shop where I can see a price tag. I don't, I'll be honest with you, to this day, I have not walked into the Russian market. I've been here over a year. I have not gone to the Russian market. I have not gone to the Central market because it's not my thing. I already know I'm not going to find anything I want other than maybe some food, right? It's hot, it's crowded, it's a labyrinth. I mean, it could be fun just to walk through and get lost, but it's hot and crowded. Um, they're all yelling at you to come over to their stall and buy something from them. So to me, that's not a relaxing time. I already had enough of that when I was like traveling on the road, like when I went to different markets, like in Vietnam, and also I did a little thing in Siem Reap. There was a little market out there. I don't like that. I don't like people catcalling me across the street, or in Bali they do the same. Hey, madame, come to my market, come to my stall, come to my market. It's like, oh man, I just want to walk down the street and be left alone, right? I don't want to buy anything. So yeah, that's why I don't do it here. I live here now. I'm not a tourist. Let me get to your comments. So Mohammed Abid says, "What's good about Cambodia?" Well, you're looking at it. Here's one good thing about it. The weather is nice, although it's cloudy today, but it's nice and cool today. They have killer coffee shops. This is called Brown Coffee and Eatery. And, they're turning upscale. See? Got really nice designs, a lot of things going on out here, nice cars, um, good food. I mean, it's not the cheapest place in Southeast Asia to move and live, but it's not the most expensive either. There are other places like Bangkok and Singapore and those places, even Malaysia. I would think Kuala Lumpur is a little bit more expensive than it is to live here in Phnom Penh. The people are friendly. You can find good rent, reasonable prices. Like I rent a one bedroom for $330 a month. And with my utilities and all my expenses, phone, utilities, rent, maybe I'll spend $400 a month. That's it. And of course, it depends on where you want to live and what you're willing to pay. But yeah, I only spend about $400 a month for rent and utilities. And as far as like groceries, like the other day, I went grocery shopping yesterday. This is the cheapest grocery bill I ever had. It was only $16, guys. And I bought meat. Okay, I didn't really need that much, but still, I bought a lot of fruit, uh, produce, a lot of meat, and I still walked out only paid $16 at a Western grocery store. What are we talking about here, right? So that's what's good about Cambodia. And the biggest thing is that they make getting your retirement visa super easy to get and super easy to keep. Um, there's no border runs. Like once you get in here, you get your visa, and you got to come in on the right visa. You plan on staying longer than 30 days, do not come in on a tourist visa, because then you will have to leave, get stamped out, and come back into the country under the ordinary visa. But if you get your ordinary visa up front online for 30 days, then you come into the country, then you don't have to leave, and you never have to leave. You just go to a visa agent, say, I want to renew it for 6 months, I want to renew it for a year, whatever your taste is, whatever you can afford, and they do it. It takes like a week and a half to get your passport and your visa stamp in there. Actually, they put a sticker. It's like a little sticker, and you're good to go. Just like I did mine. I had mine I renewed it for 6 months. It was a 6 month renewal, and I paid $170. Um, yeah, and depending on the visa agent that you go to, is how much extra they're going to charge you. Um, yeah, they all charge different amounts for their services, so you just have to check around. Let me get back to your questions. Right, all right. Well, you enjoy the view. Dave Alexander Ferris says that's cheap. You're damn right it is. Morning, Ernie. How you doing, Ernie? I hope it ain't starting to rain. I think I'm feeling a little something, something. I might have to dip. Well, there is a table behind me if I got to dip. Michael MC, there you are, buddy. Nice to meet at Eon Supermarket. Yeah. I just talked about you at the beginning of the live stream. I said I met a subscriber in the line at the grocery store. That's you. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. I meant to say thank you for being, a regular watching my live stream, but I got so excited in line. I was like, somebody recognized me? What? Especially when you're like, do I know you? And I was like, am I in trouble? Like, maybe you know me? I don't know. And then when you said YouTube, I was like, oh my God, that's great. But yeah, it was nice to meet you, Mike, and it was nice shaking your hand. It was super nice. I love meeting my subscribers. And that's what I tell everybody. I'm like, if you're just like traveling through or you live here and you happen to see me, don't be shy. I don't bite, man. Like, I love meeting the people that I'm chatting to on the live stream, because I mean, it makes it more real, you know? It's one thing you seeing me, but I get to see you. It makes it more personal. And don't be shy to write me either on my email, okay? So if you guys want to grab a cup of coffee and you want to get to know me even more, I'm open to that. I'm an open book. So Mike, hit me up on my email, which is in the description. Anyway, let me get back to your questions while you enjoy this big giant coffee cup. I can move that. Okay, so Mohammed says, so $1,500 will be enough to live on it. Oh yeah, Mohammed, absolutely. Any festivals or anything coming up? Irv is asking. No, Irv, there's not really anything happening at the moment. You missed Chinese New Year, which was like last month or a couple weeks back. Yeah, it was last month. It was in February. I don't think they have anything big coming up. Let me think. Maybe July, could be not until August or September, which is like their water festival. I got leaves falling everywhere. But yeah, you missed all the goodies. If you were here last month, you would have had the Chinese New Year. But even then, they didn't really do any big celebrations out here. The biggest time of year for celebrations is the water festival. I will tell you that. Like, I mean, if you're into that, and everybody squirts everybody down on the what do you call it, the riverfront walkway, like they block off the whole road, and everybody goes out there with their water guns and boom, 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 boom. So it could be fun if you're really into that. Kids love it, obviously. And what the water festival is a celebration of the river going back to normal. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but the river out here that flows through Phnom Penh is the only river that a certain time of year it will flow backwards. It's some kind of strange phenomenon where just certain times of year the river reverses and flows backwards. And I think it's the only river in the world that actually does that. And then when it reverses back to coming through Phnom Penh normal, that's when they celebrate and they call it the Water Festival. So now you guys know a little history behind the Water Festival. Of course, I'm really summing it up in a nutshell. There must be more to it, but it is what it is. All right, let me see what other comments you got. Renee says, like Songkran in Thailand. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's what they call it over there. Okay, Bill. I don't know about that one. We'll let that one go. But yeah, going back to you, Irv. Let me go back to you, Irv. 1,500 every month. Okay. I'm just going to let you know what's happening with me, okay, just so you can get an idea and gauge your lifestyle. Like I said, everybody's lifestyle is different, right? Um, like I only have a pension of $800 a month. That's it. And yet I'm living quite well on $800 a month. That includes my rent, my utilities, my phone, going out to places like this to eat, um, buying a pair of pants at the mall, anything I want to do. Now, do I have to still watch my money? Of course I do. You know, includes transportation too and groceries, but you can overspend just like anywhere else, or you can underspend. But the thing is, you have a choice here. That's the difference. Um, you have a choice here. In other words, like I know back in the United States, everything's expensive. You have no choice. Like there is no middle ground to buy something like reasonably priced because everything's outrageous. At least that's what I've heard from my own kids. And but here, you can buy something super cheap. You can buy something in the middle, or you can go extremely expensive. You can go top notch, high luxury out here. So there is so many different levels. That's what I love about living here. So the more money I bring in, the more money I can spend if I want to. But on that $800, me still living comfortably and meeting all my needs, I still save $200 a month. So technically, guys, I'm living off of $600 a month. I know that's mind blowing, and you're probably thinking, "Holy shit!" Oh, yeah. I know most people's car payments back in the United States are $600 a month. I'm living on $600 a month. And that's why I love to spread the word. That's why I do these live streams, because I want people to know there's options, man. You know what I mean? And since they make the visas so easy, like they don't ask you for proof of income to come here. Okay, they don't care. They don't care where your money's coming from. Unlike other Southeast Asian countries, want to know. They're like, oh well, we need to know like proof of your pension, or we need to know proof of your social security check, or if you're working online, we need to see proof of your pay stubs or whatever, or you need to put $20,000 into a bank account. right? You don't have to do any of that here. You don't have to open up a bank account if you don't want to. You don't have to deposit any money to get your visa. You don't have to show proof of income. All you got to do is have a valid passport, okay, at least 6 months validity, and then of course come in on the right visa. And if you come in on the wrong visa, no problem. They'll get you the right visa, and then you're all legal, right? I mean, what are we talking about here? That's why I left the United States, because I got priced out, man. I got priced out of Florida. I'm from Orlando, Florida. I could not afford to live there. Now, of course, I wasn't making $800 a month. That's my pension right now because I quit my job. I was pulling in, and I had a kid to support at the time, but I was pulling in maybe $4,000 a month. That still isn't a whole lot of money for having a car payment, rent, and everything else back in Florida. I was barely scraping by on $4,000 a month. And now I'm living off of $800 a month, and I'm able to save money? What? It's so freaking crazy. It still blows my mind. I've been here a year, and I still can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe I'm saying it. But yeah, I had to tell you. I have to tell you these things. Okay, let me go back to everybody's comments. Lily wants to know, is it Cambodia New Year next month? I don't think it's next month, Lily. Like I said, I think it's later on. I really do. I think it's later on. See, everybody's going in there. Is there food tasting like Chinese food? I don't know what you mean by food tasting, but there is plenty of Chinese food out here. No sweat on that. Hey, Jamie James is in the house. Hello. Welcome in, Jamie James. Okay, Angela. Hi, Angela. I just saw your comment. Hello, I'm curious about healthcare costs. And I'll get to everybody else here in a minute. Okay. All right. I will tell you this as far as healthcare is concerned. I only had to do one thing, and that was go get my eyes examined. And I had 12 different tests ran. Okay. Not just one look, well, let's just check your eyes out, and that's it. 12 different tests. I paid out of pocket for this, and it cost me $50. That's it. Um, as far as other things like with the hospital health care, I don't know what all those prices are because I've never had to utilize their services. So unfortunately, I cannot tell you that. I don't know everything because I haven't been through everything. Um, but you can get health care out here. It is very possible to get health care out here if you meet the certain criteria that they're looking for. So, depending on your health history, um, they look at your weight, you know, pre-existing, all of that stuff. But if you're in pretty decent shape, like for me, and you got to be under age 60, 60 or younger, then you can qualify for this health insurance. It's through Safety Net. That's who I use. And I got the health insurance last year, and they only charged me $408 a year, guys. A year. $480 a year. I have a $500 deductible, and that's for the entire year. So I meet that deductible. I think. Oh wait, the out of pocket's $1,000, but I have a $500 deductible. So, and I have $100,000 worth of coverage. Um, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. But yeah, I did make a video. Like if you're new here and you don't know, you go to my. You don't even have to subscribe, but if you want to, you can go to my playlist under Phnom Penh, and you'll find a video about healthcare. I explain everything in detail because I did my own online shopping, and there was some healthcare that was outrageous. Like they were trying to charge me, I don't even know, man. They were trying to charge me like $10,000 a year or some crazy number with a very high deductible. I was like, that's insane. And these were health insurance companies from the States. And then I found out through a lady who moved from Canada um, that she got this health care out here. And this is a safety net is actually a French based insurance company. They ran out of France. And they actually work with expats out here. And I think they're the only company too. To be honest with you, I think they're the only ones. So, but you know, if you don't qualify at first when you come down here, they'll tell you why, you know. Like if you need to lose some weight, it'll be easy to lose weight out here. Shit, I've lost 50 pounds since I've been out here and I'm not even on a diet. I'm just eating better. There's better healthy choices out here to eat. And you just naturally, you're walking around, you're sweating, you're losing weight. You don't even have to think about it. Um, yeah, so you just drop your weight and then you can go right back and reapply again. So I hope that answers that question. We'll get to the rest of the questions. Okay, Ernie wants to know, is there a deposit on a place to live? Yes, Ernie. Yes, there is. All of them require a deposit, but here's the thing. It's first month's rent and the deposit is equal to the first month's rent. So let's say, like when I first signed my lease, my rent was $350. Times two, that's the deposit. I paid $700 to move into my apartment, guys. So depending on how much it is, it's going to be equal. So if you get a place for $1,000 a month, your deposit's going to be $1,000. But the good thing is, you know, they're good about giving your money back, and a lot of places you can go month to month. You don't have to sign a 6-month lease or a 12-month lease. You can actually go month to month. But they do require you to give them like a 30-day notice and let them know if you plan to stay or not. Like with me, my 6-month lease is actually up, I think next week, the 21st. Yeah, I believe it's March 21st. It's up. And my landlady messaged me on WhatsApp. She's like, you know, your lease is up soon. Are you planning to stay? And I was like, yeah, I love my place so much. I'm going to sign for a year. Forget the 6 months. I'm staying for a year. Get that lease drawn up, girlfriend. So yeah, I'm going to sign for another 12 months on mine. Okay, back to the other questions. Look at this blue building over here. Okay. Midas, is it Midas night? Hey, yeah, welcome in. You're welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying the live stream. Jamie James says, is the weather in Cambodia like Hawaii weather? Wow, good question. I don't know. I've never been to Hawaii. I wish I could answer that, Jamie James. I've never been to Hawaii, so I have no idea. Minus night says $50. Nice. Yeah, super nice. Yeah, Jamie James, that's my deductible. Oh, wow. You pay that as your deductible, Midas? $5,400 a month. How would I do there? Lord have mercy. You would do excellent, Midas Night. I mean, you'd be living like a king out here, bro. For that kind of money. Bernie says that's cheap. Yeah, it is. Okay, Angela wants to know, what about buying a condo? Is it allowed? Yes. Good news on that one, girlfriend. You can definitely buy a condo as a foreigner. You do not have to be a Cambodian citizen. You do not have to marry a Cambodian. The only rule they have out here for foreigners is that you cannot buy ground level. You cannot own the land. You know what I mean? The property, but you can own anything above the ground. So a condo qualifies. So let's say you get into a condo and you're even on the first floor, because they start at ground and then they go G1, 1, 2, 3, and it goes up from there. You can buy the condo on the first floor because you're not on the ground. So yeah, you can buy condos out here. And there's quite a few. In fact, I'm looking at some right now. I'll show you some right through the trees here. You see that? Those right there? That That is a condo complex. See, it's got the balconies and everything. I don't know how much they are, but there's a high-rise building behind it. But yeah, we're surrounded by it, man, everywhere. Jamie James says I'm moving. Well, you know what? Come on down. I'll make some room. How they say, what was that old commercial? I'll leave the light on for you. Come on down, Jamie James. I'll leave the light on for you. See this light? I'm going to leave that light on for you so you can find your way to me. Angela's like me too. Your biggest obstacle, guys, and it was mine, is just it's taking the leap to actually do it. Your biggest obstacle is letting go of everything you've ever known or had in the United States or wherever you're moving from. Moving with just your clothes and trusting in yourself, your decision, and God that this is the right choice. That is your biggest obstacle, other than the money. Now, you do need cash. You don't need much, but you need at least $1,000 for a plane ticket to get out here, plus whatever airport incidentals. And then once you get here, of course, you need money to secure an apartment and you need money to live on. So I would recommend, like, I usually tell everybody, I'm like, look, even if you just have, I'd say a good cushion would be about $3,000 to $5,000 in the bank. Okay, but I mean, don't expect to be living in $1,000 a month apartment. But if you can live within a $200 to $300 a month apartment range, and then if you know you've got money coming in every month, you'll be okay. But you still have to be careful. I mean, you can go crazy out here. Trust me. There are a lot of places to buy things at. A lot of things can be expensive or they can be cheap. And it's so easy to lose your head because you're like, oh my God, well, this is only $2. I'm going to go buy it. And then you go down the street, oh, that's only $1, and you buy it. And the next thing you know, you spent $20 for the day. And if you do that times 7 and you spend $140 a week, you get that? You see how it adds up? So when you get here, you have to get into the right mindset and say, okay, I'm not a tourist. I'm actually living here. So whatever I did back home, I need to bring those good habits with me here, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Because, when I first came out here, like I said, with my $800 a month pension, I thought I would need more money. I was like, there's no way I can live out there for $800. And that's when I went and got a teaching gig, right? That was my whole shtick. I was going to have the $800 pension. I was going to go and get me a teaching job and pull in another grand a month. I figured that would be the comfort zone, right? Well, then I taught for 1 week and I quit because I actually found out in the time I was here, before I even got the job, I was here 2 months before I got the job, I was living under $800 a month. I already tested it. And then I was like, well, it would be nice to have the extra cash, right? So I went for the job anyway. And then I quit the job because it wasn't for me. And then I was like, well, I really don't need to work. I don't need to work. I don't need to work in a traditional sense, right? Now, my fun right now is YouTube. And if I happen to pull in a few bucks off of YouTube, great. I just stash it away. I don't spend it. Um, but yeah, that's how I discovered that I really didn't need the extra cash. Now, if you're a family, let's say you're a couple or you have kids, adjust accordingly. You know what I mean? But you can get 2, 3 bedroom apartments out here for like no more than $600 a month. So if you're pulling in 1,500 and your spouse is pulling in 1,500, I mean, you guys are going to be fine. Unless you're out there spending it every single day, you're going to be fine. Okay, back to your questions. I hear a lot of whistling going on here. Oh, that's right, Corey. Motel 6 will leave the light on for you. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Jamie James wants to know, what about food? How are those resources in Cambodia? Okay, yeah, see, okay, I'll answer that just a minute. Half Hawk, hello, says I wouldn't want to be constantly thinking about my budget or spending. You don't have to. It's really easy to stay within your means. But yeah, I mean, if you want to blow your money, you can do it. If you've got the cash, you can do it. It's no problem out here. But yeah, if you're like only pulling in about $500 a month, it might get really tight. Then you got to really start thinking about your budget. Bill, I bet AK-47s are very cheap. Yeah, I don't know anything about that, Bill. Okay, going back to what about the food? How are those resources in Cambodia? Okay, well, let's put it this way. You can shop at a Western grocery store for not only Western food, but also for local food. You can go either way. Now, of course, if you buy local, it's cheaper, right? If you buy Western brand food, it's more money. Whether they got to ship it in from Europe, the United States, or even Japan or Korea, that is going to cost you more money. But if you buy local, they have local beef out here, they have their own local produce. Um, like I said, I only spent $16. I bought the local meat and the local produce yesterday, and I spent $16. And that's for the entire week, guys. Because I still had leftover food from the week before. So it's cheap. And of course, you can hit up now if you don't want to go to the grocery store, you can hit up any of these, like I call them farmers markets, but they're really just vendors that sell produce on the side of the road, or you can go down to the Central Market or the Russian Market and you can buy your produce there and your meat. And you can get it even cheaper than what I pay. So you can go really, really low with the food. And as far as eating out is concerned, well, that budget, the sky's the limit. I mean, you can go as cheap as a buck or two off the street, or you can go as high as, I don't know, $100 for a meal if you want a big fancy 5-star steak dinner. I think the most you will pay out here is $100 for a plate. Um, and I've been to some of those 5-star restaurants. I didn't personally pay the $100. Now I went in for my birthday this past month. I went into one of those 5-star restaurants, and I made a video about that. If you guys seen one of the foodie videos back then, but we got a whole dinner for 38 bucks. That included a choice of drink, appetizer, main meal, which was a steak dinner. And we're talking caviar, guys. Like, I got an appetizer that was caviar on top of tuna tartare, which I have never had in my life. It was excellent, by the way. Then I got an Australian steak dinner for my main course with potatoes and all that. And then I got a choice of dessert. And because it was my birthday, they gave me another dessert for free. So I had like a piece of strawberry cake that came with the meal, and then they gave me a free chocolate lava cake and saying happy birthday to me for 38 bucks, guys. And that was at a 5-star restaurant. Now, if I wanted to go off the set menu, I could have went there and I could have spent, like I said, $100 for a plate. But I was like, why? Everything else was good for $38. Why would I do that? I guess for a better piece of steak. I don't know. But yeah, think about it, man. That's really, really cheap. Enjoy the trees up here. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, back to your comments. Awesome. Good questions, guys. Bill wants to know, will Cambodia extradite me to America if I'm wanted? That I don't know, Bill. That's a good question. I don't think they'll let you in to begin with. If you're on some kind of watch list, they probably won't even approve your visa. Just saying. Ernie's like, yummy. Mohammed wants to know, at the Russian market, do they have a lot of Russians living in Cambodia? I don't know, to be honest with you. I haven't personally ran into too many of them. I think I've ran into a few Russians who speak Russian out here, but I think they've only named it the Russian market because back in the day, the Russians, I guess, they came in and helped them out. That's my guess. I don't know how the Russian market came about. And then there used to be a Russian community around there, but I mean, I think some Russians still live out here because everybody lives out here now. I mean, Americans, me, people from Britain, Australia, the UK. Lot of yapping going on. You know, you get the idea. South Africa. I mean, there's quite a few. The only kind of group of people I don't see out here are actually Latin. I think I ran into one Cuban guy out here. Ran into any Latino people out here. I think it's too far for them to travel from South America or Central America. That's one group of people I have not actually encountered out here, which I guess makes sense. Okay, back to your questions. Good questions, guys. Yakety yak over here. Hey, Gary. Hi, Gary. How is the air quality? The air quality is quite nice. The only time it gets bad is if you're in traffic, like over here. You see this traffic? And you're just sitting in a tuk-tuk and you got to breathe the air. It can get pretty bad. See, they have guys out here directing traffic. But other than that, the air quality is actually pretty nice out here. It's really good. Yeah, Blind Justice. Yeah, it's like the book. Bill wants to know what part is safe there. Asking for a friend. Well, Bill, uh, any part of Phnom Penh is really safe. I mean, I've been pretty much all over the city because I've lived here over a year and I've had no problems. I mean, I haven't had. I mean, of course, you want to be practical. Let's put it that way. Like, you don't want to just leave your phone on a table and walk away. You wouldn't do that in U.S., right? You don't want to leave your wallet just sitting somewhere and walk away. Um, but I've seen people like in these coffee shops. I've seen people come in with their laptops. They come in with their laptops and then they got to go use the bathroom and they leave their laptops right on the table and their bags and everything and they're gone from their table for like 5-10 minutes and there usually isn't a problem. Oh, I'll tell you, we got things going on here. It must be crowded inside. That's the only thing I can figure out. So we're gonna have some loud company, guys. It looks crowded in there. Yeah, it must be crowded. So I can't. Bill says, so I can't drive my what? Your Z06 219 Corvette there? Yeah, you can. You can drive anything you want out here. I don't know how much it would cost you to ship it out here and then actually get a Cambodian tag. I don't own a car. I don't own a moto, a scooter, or anything like that. I just use the tuk-tuks around here. But I've heard of people actually shipping their vehicles out here. So, and hey, I've seen I've seen your type of car out here. What would you say it was? A Corvette? Oh no, I haven't. Wait a minute. Not a Chevy Corvette. What's the other one? The Camaro? They sell Chevy Camaros out here, bro. Like really nice, black. Have you ever seen the new paint job where it's not shiny and it's just a matte black? That's the kind of new paint job that they have out here. And this one guy had a matte black Chevy Camaro, black tinted windows, and then it was like a yellow kind of pinstripe thing going on. It was amazing. I was like, oh, that's a beautiful place. Beautiful. It's getting smoky out here. You know what, guys? I think we're gonna try to go inside because I'm getting smoked out by all these smokers. Give me just a minute. Okay, let's go inside. Yeah. Let's see if we can get a spot upstairs. Try it. Yeah, check it out, guys. Isn't this nice? It's nice and cool in here. We found a spot. We found a spot inside upstairs. This guy finally left with his laptop. Yeah, now you get a bird's eye view. So this is the inside of one of the brown coffee shops. Isn't this cool? Ah, relaxing. Now you get to see the inside. I was getting totally smoked out over there. There's guys out there went out there to smoke their butts off. But yeah, check it out. This is the upstairs. Super cool. In fact, you know what? There's people sitting right there. I don't want to bother them. We'll just go here. Let me look at your comments. Do they have beaches in Cambodia? Yes, they do, Mohammed. Or says there goes neighborhood. Put that whistle down. That's the guy out there directing traffic. Yeah, that's his job. He's a whistler. Yeah, or this is a coffee shop. Yeah, no kidding, right? Starbucks. What? Believe it or not, there is a Starbucks out here, and they have some pretty nice decoration. But I've always liked Browns. Like, isn't it cool? 'Cause these are old, like French buildings that they remodel and they decorate them. I think they're super cool, though. The way they do the windows and everything, it's really cool. Ah, thank you, Lily. Yeah, thumbs up. Thumbs up, guys. No, they're not allowed to smoke inside. That's why everybody goes outside to smoke. See this guy? I think, is he smoking? Oh, no. But yeah, we were outside and I had like 5 dudes roll up behind me and they were all puffing away on their cigarettes. I was like, oh, I can't do this. Bill's like, be her moderator. Isn't this neat though? This is so cool. I wanted you guys to see the inside anyway. Okay. I know there's a light behind me. It's pretty bright. We'll try to make it work. Right? Let me get my stuff situated. This makes me want another cup. Well, I had a cup of coffee at the house, and then I had a matcha tea here, but now it makes me want another cup of coffee. I might get another one before I go. There we go. How's that? Is that better, or is that terrible? I look illuminated. Do I look like an angel now? Oh. I look like an angel now with my hair all illuminated. Looking all crazy. She be looking all crazy. My hair be looking all crazy. Oh, well, screw it. It is what it is. Okay, somebody has a question. Mohammed says, is Cambodia close to Thailand? I think you mean Thailand. Yes, we're very close to Thailand. Well, from where I'm at in Phnom Penh, I'm 240 miles away from the northern Thai border. That's where like all the war incidents was going on at the border, but we don't have any of that going on now. But if I were to go due west instead of north into Thailand, if I went due west, I'm maybe 150 miles from Thailand. Like if I wanted to go into Pattaya, have you guys heard of Pattaya Beach and all that in Thailand? That's not too far from where I'm at. I could probably do a bus ride in under 4 hours and be in Thailand. And somebody in the last stream when I was moving was asking, are there any beaches in Cambodia? Absolutely. The beaches, it's about a 4-hour bus ride south of Phnom Penh. So you go past Kampot where all the mountains are. That's, if you haven't seen that video, check it out. I was in Kampot not too long ago. But if you keep going further south by an hour, you're at the beach. And then there's one island location that's really cool. That's called what's it called? Koh Rong. It's spelled Koh and then Rong, Rhong, I believe. Yeah. So I hear that beach is spectacular and it's super cheap. I haven't been there personally. That's on my bucket list to get out to that beach. But I have been to the one beach that's on the mainland. Instead of crossing, taking the ferry and going to the island, if you stay on the mainland down there, there's a beach called Independence Beach. I stayed there, and it was beautiful. I didn't feel a need to actually hop a ferry and go to the island. Now the town Sihanoukville is questionable. It's very questionable. It's very sketchy out there now. Talk about not feeling safe. I did not feel too safe in Sihanoukville. I would not live there. I would not move there. But Phnom Penh, totally safe. Anyway, back to your questions. Good questions, guys. You guys get to enjoy the coffee scene. Lily's like, I'll try. Oh, okay, Bill. So you say you're going to move there in 6 months when your probation expires? Well, then you should be just fine. Just come in legal. Be a legal eagle and you'll be fine. Angela wants to know how much is a cup of coffee there. Okay. Now, brown is like Starbucks, but they're not as expensive. They are $1 cheaper than Starbucks. I'd say a good premium cup of coffee, like with all the bells and whistles, would cost you no more than $3.50. Like that little latte you see that guy getting right there. That is about $3 because he doesn't have the whipped cream or anything on there. I think that's called a cafe latte or something that he's getting. Now, I personally got a matcha. and it was a cream matcha, and I paid $3.55 for it. I'm gonna tell you, it was really good, really good. Okay, other questions? I got more people coming up. Okay, Rothy says, I just got back from Cambodia and want to go back already. I don't blame you, right? I live here and I freaking love it. I love all the coffee shop choices. And I mean, look at this place. This place rocks. It's so cool to be in here. I love all the restaurants and all the choices. Yeah, I don't blame you. I'd want to come back too. You don't like Siem Reap? Okay. Well, that's a first. Most people tell me they don't like it here. Oh my God, Irv. You're killing me, Irv. You're killing me. Robert says hi. Hi, Robert. Okay, Lily. Yeah, if I ever get down to the island vibe life, I'll show you my hat. But you ain't getting me in a bikini. No way. Nice table view. I know. Isn't this cool? I'm upstairs. See, I'm on the second floor. And yeah, we're just sort of hanging out in the corner over here with everybody else. See how everybody's working on their laptops? See? You can sit here all day. You don't even really have to buy a cup of coffee. You can just sit here all day. Look, somebody's crashed out on the couch. That looks like what do you call a foreigner? They've probably been walking around all day. They're so crashed out. They're like, screw it. We're just gonna pass out on this. You were there for 3 weeks, Rothy? Okay. Do they sell shamrock shakes, Scuba? No. The closest thing you'll get to a shamrock shake is a matcha. But I'll tell you what, it's pretty damn good. Like a matcha milkshake, is really good. You need to watch him make one. Right, Putty Cat's in the house. Yeah, unlike the States, there's no tipping at the coffee shop. Exactly. That's exactly right. You don't have to tip here, guys. I mean, I hear the tipping in the United States is off the chain. Like I said, I got a ticket to go back and visit my family this September. I am not tipping unless I'm in a restaurant and they give exceptional service, then I'll leave a tip. But if I'm at a vending machine and I get a cup of coffee from a vending machine and it asks me for a tip, I'm going to say uh, no. Or let's say I roll up at a Starbucks in the United States, right? And I'm at the counter like here, and they're just doing their job and they hand me the coffee and then they expect me to put a tip on there. I'll be like, you need to ask your employer to give you more money because you ain't getting it from me, girlfriend. And they're gonna be rolling their eyes, going, "I'll be like, I'm going back to Cambodia because I ain't putting up with this bullshit. I'm glad I'm only going there for a month, and I know it's gonna kill me. I'm gonna bleed money. I'm not looking forward to it. The only thing I like about going back to the States is that I actually get to visit my family. I know I'm looking at my hair all crazy. I get to visit my son and daughter, and then I'm gonna bolt out because the plane between the plane ticket. Luckily, I got a place to stay there for free. I'm staying there with my daughter, so I don't have to pay to stay there. She's gonna be like, "Mom, let's go out to eat," and I'll be like, either we're splitting a meal or you're buying your mom a meal. Or if I have to buy my own meal, you're tipping the waiter. So have fun. I'm cheap, bro. I'm so used to these cheap prices out here. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Thank you, Robert. I'll enjoy my day. Thank you. I know, right, Irv? That's I already passed out in a coffee shop. That is one tired puppy over there. Must have had a party last night. Yeah, back in the old days, Charlie says it was un-American to tip. Yeah, I hear ya. Well, living out here now and not having to tip is fantastic. It's so fantastic. I love it. I love it. I love it. They're adding it to your bill even for a party of two. Yeah, yeah, they call the VAT or something like that. Exactly. Oh, Cootie Cat wants to know how much my flight is. I landed a good deal, Putty Cat. I love your name, Putty Cat. Speaking of Putty Cats, before I tell you how much I paid for my flight, I think you guys, if you've been on my live stream, you know that my apartment doesn't have screens. I have open up windows that have bars on them, which is fine. I don't care, but I have stray cats that like to hop through the bars of my windows. And 2 nights ago, I left the windows open while I was cooking, and it was dark. And I was in the kitchen, and I heard something in the living room. And I was like, I heard in my living room. I'm like, what the hell is that? I was like, did a rat get in here, right? I didn't even think about the cat. So I walk around real slow looking in the living room, and I see a black and white cat on my couch. I'm like, what the hell are you doing in my living room? So I was like, get out of here, boom, 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 like that. The cat just jumped off the couch, bolted into my bedroom, and I had the back door closed, and then it chasing the cat, right? Going like this, and then the cat's bolted backwards back to me into the living room, and then just leaped out the window. And I was like, oh my God. So my landlady doesn't allow pets, and I can't be having any cats trying to get comfortable. I ain't trying to lose my apartment over some stray cat. And I know that cat gets fed because it's too friendly. It's just so used to just like leaping into windows and just hanging out. I'm like, you're not doing that in here, buddy. Get out. So anyway, what was the question? Let me go back. Oh, how much was my flight? I'm sorry, Putty Cat. I got on a Putty Cat rage. My flight, I landed it before I had to pay for the seats because the seats were extra. Round ticket, $968, under 1,000. It's exactly what I wanted. I couldn't get it any cheaper than that. $968 round trip. But I had to tack on another $200 to pay for the actual picking out my own seat kind of thing. I didn't have to pay for extra luggage because all the flights include the personal and the carry-on, and that's all I'm going to have. But they got me on the ticket on the seat, so all in all, it's going to cost me like 1,100 bucks roughly, with the seat cost and the tickets and all of that. Although later on, somebody told me if you didn't pick your seats, you probably could have got them for free and they just would have placed you. And I was like, oh shit. I've been out of the loop, guys. I haven't booked tickets in over a year, so I forgot. But 1,100 bucks, all in. Not bad. Renee says I tipped a Grab food driver last night $2 because I didn't have the exact change. I told him to keep it, and his eyes popped out. Yeah, I know they're not used to that, man. It's a big deal for them. They're not used to it. How much is a condo in a nice area in Cambodia, Mohammed? What do you mean as far as buying one or renting one? Be more specific. Hey, Charlie Hanks is in the house. Hello, Charlie. 1,100, not bad. One connection or direct? No, it wasn't direct. It's two connections. What airline was it? Shit. I'm trying to remember. my language. Woo. Sorry, guys. I think it's getting out of here is Cathway, if I'm saying it right, Cathaw or something like that. And then when I get into the United States, it's Southwest, I believe. So I leave from Phnom Penh to Hong Kong, and I have a 2-hour layover in Hong Kong. Then I connect from Hong Kong to LAX, and I have an overnight layover. So I'm going to have to get a hotel in LA, which I'm not really happy about. I haven't even booked that yet, so I have no idea what that's going to cost. And then I fly out of LA the next day on Southwest Airlines to Orlando. And then when I come back to Phnom Penh, rinse and repeat. It's the same airlines, the same layovers, everything. And I'm staying in the States I'm staying in for a month. Bill wants to know, do they frown on outsiders? No, Bill, you're going to be totally fine. There's all kinds of outsiders. One right there. And there's, well, I guess the girl that was sleeping woke up, unless it was that guy. Oh, there's somebody with a chicken dinner. Look at, they serve meals out here. I had a really good steak sandwich out here for lunch. And it was like about $4. There's a Westerner right there. See him on the laptop? Yeah, they welcome everybody. Oh yeah, there's the chicken dinner. So chicken salad kind of thing going on. All right. It's like buying one. Yeah, no kidding, Muhammad, right? No kidding. Yeah, everybody's out on their laptops just chilling out here. I guess this guy can't find who is the owner of that salad. You can bring it this way, guy. All right. Well, I just want to say thank you for everybody who's in the live stream and thank you for all your questions. You guys are fabulous. And yes, and yeah, and you're in Laos. No, I'm not in Laos. I'm in Cambodia. I'm in Cambodia. I'm not in Laos. I'm in Cambodia. But I do have another stop on the way home, and I sort of want to beat the traffic, so I'm going to go ahead and sort of cut this live stream here in just a minute. But I appreciate everybody who's come in. If you're my regulars, you know I love you. I appreciate you every time you pop in and ask your questions and hang out. You know I love you. And if you're new to the channel and you just subscribe, thank you very much. I appreciate all the newbies that come in and are curious about Cambodia and want to know what it's like to live out here. So I do these live streams twice a week, Mondays and Fridays. Times, can't tell you. It's sometime in the afternoon. I mean, I just happen to have a wild hair up my ass and got up early today and actually did an early live stream. So anyway, you never know when you're going to catch me. But it is Mondays and Fridays, Cambodia afternoon time. And, hey, if you need any help moving out here, and this stuff will be in the description box after the live stream, but my website, I help people move out here. So check out my website, nextstepunknown.me. I'll be happy to assist you as well. And if you just have any questions and you want to write me, all about it, go ahead and write me at my email, Tami, Tami, at nextstepunknown.com. And I'd be happy to correspond with you. Okay? All right. I'm going to say adios. Love you guys very much. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. One last shot of Brown's coffee before we say goodbye. Thank you, Bill. Peace out.